Good morning, guys. It is time to start this book and discussing each chapter. Now, in the first chapter, Mr. Wood, the writer is Patrick M. Wood. The book is Technocracy Rising, the Trojan Horse of Global Transformation. Now, the first part, he gives like a background to the rise of technocracy. And this is not by any means a new idea. It's been around forever and a day. He goes into each section of it. Positivism. The Frenchman Auguste Comte, 1798 to 1857, is known as the father of modern sociology and was the founder of positivism, a philosophy that was very popular in the late 1800s because everybody was dirt fucking poor. That's no other way to say it. This naturally discarded all notions of absolute truth based on the Bible and metaphysical truth based on man's imagination. Comte believed that his science of society could be discovered and explained by applying the scientific method in the same manner as was applied to physical science. Alright? Scientism. Scientism takes positive to an extreme by claiming that science alone can produce the truth of the world in reality. Yeah, where we've heard that before. Progressivism. Political movement that addressed ideals, impulses, and issues stemming from modernization of American society. Emerging at the end of the 19th century, it established much of the tone of American politics throughout the first half of the century. Wonderful. Then he goes into Darwinism. My favorite was fascism. According to Merriam-Webster, defines fascism as a political philosophy, movement, or regime that exalts nation and often race above the individual, and that stands for a centralized autocrat government headed by a dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition. Where does that sound familiar? Well, let's see. Trump is going after, and all the other presidents before him, if you didn't work with America, you did not have the petrodollar as the American dollar, you had to go. That was it. You were gone. Finished. Done. Arrivederci. See you later. Maybe not. What difference of fascism from communism is, talking about fascism, it's protection of businesses and landholders. Alright. Right there. Now, I have said that fascism, a government in fascism, is worse than a government of socialism and communism. Fascism will always be worse. It will always be the natural progression from capitalism. Then he goes on to talk about Hitler's war years were virtually merged state interests Today the term fascism has multiple nuances, but all point to a totalitarian system where corporatism and the state are seen functionally equivalent. Every time Walmart builds a store, they get subsidies from the local county and city. They don't need it. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They don't need the subsidies. Do we get subsidies to go shop there? No. We don't get nothing. If anything, we get services cut, like fire, police service when needed, because they have to be first. These big banks, same thing. You can let a small bank fail, but not a big bank. You can let a small community supported credit union or a public bank like North Dakota has. They'll let that fall, but they won't let JP Morgan Chase fall. Corporatism, fascism, totalitarianism, it's all one little umbrella. Now, socialism, the doctrines of Karl Marx are seen as original basis for socialism as an economic and political model. Socialism eschews private property and the accumulation of wealth through state ownership of all productive resources and distribution based on to each according to his need. I have no problem with that. The more I learn about socialism, the less problem I have with it. Because I'm also learning more about fascism, totalitarianism, corporatism. Those things I definitely have a problem with. You're talking about a big bank. They own this country. They own it. Let's face it. I actually have a book coming. I'm going to order next month. The Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. That is a good book. Then he goes into some people here, some rather important individuals, the influencers. Henry St. Simon from 1760 to 1825. St. Simon was recognized as the father of technology. Let me try that again. Technocrat crossing. Anyway, it's getting close to fall. My allergies are killing me. Anyway, all these technocrats acknowledge Henry St. Simon as their founder. He has merged the church and state. Auguste Comte, 1798 to 1857. He worked with the positive. Holy crap! I can't talk now. The whole positivism thing, which was popular in the second half of the 1800s, again because they were so poor. Then there's Thurston Veblen, born here. He was an economist and sociologist. It just, oh, here's an important fact about it. As a prominent figure in the progressive movement, he was fiercely critical of capitalism while he championed a leadership of Soviet of engineers. Alright, then it goes into some more people. Then it goes into From Passion to Meltdown. chapter 2, which I am looking forward to getting into, really. Um, I've had this book, Technocracy Rising, there I can say it now. And I gotta tell you, I don't know why in the world I haven't read it before now. Actually, I got reading other books before I got to it. I will see you next Tuesday. We cover a couple more chapters in that book. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about just the way things are going. Until later, be well, be safe, read on.